Welcome back to Trading with CJ. Today we are talking about one of the very few energy companies that I absolutely love. This company has just joined my 100% club. We are now sitting at over 100% and I'm not done yet. I still think this has a long way to go. And it is very much off the radar. Nobody is talking about this company. I've seen very few people even mention this one. So this is a company that has a long way to go and it's not even caught on to mainstream yet. So when it does, the opportunities here are endless. I have spoke about this one in my Discord for the past week or so, and we have seen incredible run up on it ever since. If we take a look at the price over the last week, from the last week alone, we are currently sitting up 96%. I have been speaking about this one. So if you want to get those stocks early, join the Discord. It is the first link in the description below. Completely free to join. So let's talk about this one. Like I say, I've been buying this one for quite a while and I've still been averaging up. I put this in the Discord very recently that I've bought more and averaged up. So we are talking about Pola Power, ticker symbol POLA. Pola Power designs, manufactures and sells current or DC power systems, lithium battery powered hybrid solar systems for applications in the telecommunications market. But not just the telecommunications market, they also supply to the military, EV charging as well, distributed power and uninterruptible power supply. Polar systems provide reliable and low-cost energy for applications for off-grid and bad-grid applications with critical power needs that cannot be without power in the event of utility grid failure. So for example, the military, they cannot go without power and there's not a utility grid necessarily in all of these rural locations. So how do they survive? Pola Power. So there is a few different sectors to this, okay? The first one, probably the main one as well, is telecommunications. Pola DC's generator solutions solve a myriad of obstacles that telecommunications companies face in implementing of cell site backup power. So they basically come in with these little generators that are really going to help boost and improve this system. Their goals are reducing the fuel consumption by 30 to 70% for most telecom sites. That is a big percentage. This company is really trying to change the world and it's got an energy efficient system here that they've put in place. They're reducing the overall carbon footprint by half. That carbon footprint is going down by half. The fuel consumption is going down by 30 to 70%. Things are looking really good. And it is also reducing the maintenance costs of these sites. These big telecommunication sites, they need power supply. And if they're using Pola as a power supply, then they can really reduce this cost. Now, aside from the telecommunication side of things, with the smaller power supply units, they're also going into hybrid power. Telecommunications companies are expanding all over the globe, as we know, often into areas with limited or no access to grid power. Operators and tower companies are struggling to guarantee network access. What's the solution? Pola Hybrid, that's the solution. It's a hybrid power system for an off-grid and unreliable grid cell sites that cuts diesel-related costs by up to 85%. It is energy saving, once again, reducing the carbon footprint, and it is cutting those costs. So in the long run, this is going to work out a lot cheaper for the company. They're going into a lot of other different sectors as well. They've got the marine sector, so yachts and boats, etc. These generators, this power supply is going to help dramatically decrease along with runtime of the current generators, providing less noise, vibration, smell, maintenance and operating costs. Once again, saving money, reducing the carbon footprint. This is what I really want to show you though here, military. They are working with the US military. Pola Power has been providing DC generators to the US military since 1989. They've specialized in custom power systems requiring small quantities with fast delivery. This is big. We know that the US Army obviously going to have a lot of funding, okay? They're going to have a lot of cash on hand and they've been working with Pola Power since 1989. This is obviously a strong relationship they have formed, which is another great aspect to Pola Power's company. The last main point here for these is EV charging, rapid charging of electric vehicles. They are helping hybrid vehicles with their mobile rapid charging units. Very compact in size and can fit on a standard tow truck or the back of a small pickup van. These units are helping to recharge these electric vehicles. No power electronics required as the voltage regulation is accomplished through the alternator and the engine speed. It is designed for harsh automotive environments. It's a lightweight and compact system that saves fuel in transportation and it's a lower cost. Win-win all round. We know the EV market is expanding and growing rapidly. All cars are going to be electric in the future, that's for sure, or hybrid of some sort. So this is going to be a really interesting market to be into. So for Pola Power to be tapping into this as well as everything else they're doing, it really is good news. I want to show you this, okay? This is their DC power supply units. So we've covered some of these already. You've got the backup generator there. Then you've got these solar energy systems. So these big tall towers with the solar panels. We've got these prime power systems in harsh and remote environments. And then the temporary power and rental. So this is like, towers for festivals and concerts, things like that. So they've got a whole range of different markets here. And the market opportunity for Polar Power really is huge. Look at these different sectors that they are tapping into already. We spoke about a lot of these already, but you've got the telecommunications, the military, automotive, so the EV cars, that is really, really big. Industrial, so battery systems, hybrid electric drives. The marine sector, remote and distributed power, so just prime power. And then oil, field and mining. I don't know if that one's the most growing one. However, it's another sector. There's a lot of different opportunities for this company, and they're working with a lot of different companies already. Look at some of their customers here. Telecommunications. The big one there, AT&T, Verizon, two massive companies that they are already customers and working with. Not to mention the military. Look, I said about already, the US Army, that is on there right there. Raytheon Technologies is on there as well. And then others. Some of the big EV companies out there and some big car manufacturer companies right there. Volkswagen, Ford, Fiat. Big companies. Some of their core strengths, okay, this is really, really impressive. Compared to most hybrid companies out there, this one has been going and has been designing and selling solar systems since 1980s. That is pretty impressive. They are ideally positioned as a complete systems provider, and they are not relying on one company, one market, or one application, which definitely decreases any risk there, mitigates risk of being over-dependent on a particular customer or application. They have a lot of different customers, and they have their own IP, their intellectual property. They manufacture all of their engines on site. They manufacture their own cabinets, enclosures, shelters. They assemble and test on site as well. All of this is a significant barrier to entry for any other competitor. And their company highlights. Now, I'm not going to go through all of this, because as you can see, there are a lot. But they're working with the US Army Robotic Mule Program. They've received purchases for vendors to supply DC power systems for robotic and autonomous vehicles. This is big. They're also seeing growth in international sales. They've worked with Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, Sprint, big telecommunication companies, and 35 other overseas telecommunication carriers and tower operations. Things are really looking good for this company. They've designed a lower cost hybrid product than others out there on the market, and they have a product line that designs to reduce costs to position their products to compete with lower cost AC legacy products. Now I just want to show you some of the different products that these power supplies have gone into. This is the military, okay? So these are just a couple of their different products here. You can see auxiliary power for battlefield tanks, hybrid power for robots, and even ground support for aircraft. So aside from the military, you've got these specialty hybrid vehicles. This aeroplane here, it's been towed by a tow tractor. This has one of the hybrid suppliers in it. And then you've got a mobile supplier hybrid trailer. This is used for emergency service teams and first responders to quickly set up command centers or emergency shelter in time critical situations, so they can get this out straight away, and they're going to have enough power for shelters, communication, oil and mining works. And then we've got the EV car charging, so the Chrysler mobile car charging. As you can see, it's on the back of that tow truck there. Pola has provided systems to Ford, Bosch, Volkswagen and Mazda. Lots and lots of big companies. And it's still very much early days for this company. They're wheeling out this EV car charging, this hybrid charging. So things are looking really promising. So that right there is kind of like a summary and overview of this company. There's a lot more detail to go into here, but I'm going to give you a breakdown of what this company is doing. And I think you can agree, all of these different sectors that they're tapping into, it is the future. Energy saving, reducing that carbon footprint. This is the future. Let's have a look at some of their financials and see how they get along. Now, as of their last financial results, it's not looking too bad for an energy company that is kind of like broadening out into these fields. Okay, they made a revenue of about 7 million, but that was an earnings of negative 11 million. Their debt to equity ratio is 19%, which is quite low. A debt to equity of just 19% is pretty good. They have 2.1 million of cash on their balance sheet and 2.8 million of debt. So they could pay off a lot of that debt if they really wanted to. So the balance sheet isn't looking too bad. The finances aren't looking too bad. However, as of their last earnings, they had a negative 1.14 EPS ratio. So we're hoping by the next earnings, which are coming out on the 15th of February, this will be a much better ratio. We really are hoping that. But as of everything that happened last year, global crisis, etc., it obviously has taken a hit on their earnings. So hopefully their EPS as of the February will look a lot better. But with that being said, not many energy companies in this sort of energy efficiency, the EV field, the solar field, are making a massive profit right now. So things are looking promising for this company in terms of their ambitions going forward, the partners they're working with. Now, hopefully the finances can improve as well. Things are looking good, and I really like this company, okay? Like I said, I've already made over 100% return on Pola Power. Let's jump into their stock price, because as of 2021, they are already up 230%. Things are going crazy. Now, you could say that this is probably to do with the new administration taking over, Joe Biden becoming president, etc. He is all for energy efficient. He is all for, saving the environment and cutting down on the carbon footprint. That is what Pola Power are helping to do. So it's in a very interesting sector going forward. We have seen a pump as of late. As of the last 5 days, this company is up approximately almost 100% as of the last 5 days. So we have seen a very big run up. Will we continue to see this? I don't know. I think long term, yes. However, short term, we may well see a slight pullback, but I think that's a great buying opportunity. Will I average up at these prices? It has had a very big run up since I bought them, but I obviously am expecting them to go a lot higher. So there is still a big room here for massive gains. So would I buy more at these prices? Probably, but I would probably expect a slight pullback in the coming days and weeks. However, long term, I think the potential here is absolutely huge. However, with that being said, I'm not a financial advisor, so if you are planning on investing into the stock market, you should always do your own research first. So I like this company. I spoke about a couple other energy companies that I like, and both of those have seen crazy gains, and both of those I put on the Discord prior to seeing these crazy gains. So if you want to join our Discord and get these buyers alerts really early and potentially, do your own due diligence and see if you like these companies as well, check it out. It is the first link in the description, completely free to join. So let me know your thoughts on Pola Power. Have you even heard of this company? Not many people have heard of this one. It is completely under the radar at the moment, but I'm sure it won't be under the radar for much longer. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. And if you can smash the like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, it really is appreciated. Thanks for watching, and until next time.